Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Today is Monday, so we're going to start with a story problem for this week. But our story problem is going to be a little bit different because we're moving away from adding and subtracting and going into a new unit where we're going to learn about measuring. And we're going to be doing our 3 reads protocol the same way, but a little bit differently in each read. So the first read, it's going to stay the same where we're thinking about who are the characters and what are the characters doing. The second time we read, we're going to be looking at some objects and figuring out the size of those objects. And then the last time we read, the third time, we're going to put all of that information together in our head, and we're going to ask ourselves, what are we being asked to do, and how can we show whoever's looking at our work what we did. Okay, so as I read the story, please join me in making a mental image in your head about what is happening in this story today. All right. Rudy, Omar, and Jordan were playing with their toy cars. Omar wanted to know who had the longest toy car. He decided to line up the cars to figure out which car is the longest. Organize their cars from shortest to longest. Okay. So right now you can pause the video to think about what is happening in the story, or you can play it again by going back to the beginning of the video. Teachers, when you're ready, can you put a thumb up so that I know and I can call on one of you to share what is happening in the story today? Miss T, what's happening in our story?
So it seems that Rudy, Omar, and Jordan were playing together and they were playing with their toy cars. And all of a sudden, Omar wanted to know which car was the longest. So they lined them up. And now we're trying to help them figure out which one's the longest.
Perfect. So let's go to our second page and let's reread the story. And then we're going to look at the toy cars and decide what do the cars tell us. All right, second time. Rudy, Omar, and Jordan were playing with their toy cars. Omar wanted to know who had the longest car. He decided to line up the cars to figure out which car is the longest. Organize their cars from shortest to longest. Okay. So now we have our template, right? Our assignment, and we see the story problem here. It looks a little bit differently than what you expect from a normal story problem when we do adding or subtracting. So we have it right here. We can see it says shortest and then an arrow that tells us longest. And then I have 3 different sections. So my paper is cut into 3 different sections, okay? And then I see 3 cars. I see Rudy's car, Omar's car, and Jordan's car. And we can move those cars, right? Nothing else will be able to move, just the cars. So now we see how their cars are. Okay, we can visualize those cars. Are there anything else that you noticed, teachers, Ms. Rosales?
So I'm noticing that the 3 cars are all different sizes.
They are.
And I can see that because you're putting them all together on the far left at the same start point.
Yeah.
But I think that the question or what we're trying to solve is which one was the longest. So since you can move them, can we start moving them around to see if that helps us figure it out? Can we rearrange them? Maybe is a better word.
Oh, rearrange them?
I'm having problems with this. Miss Hernandez, can you help me out? How do we compare the cars?
Well, I'm going to go back to the story problem to what it's asking, and it's asking us to figure out which car is the longest, and we have to put them in order from shortest to longest. So I might want to start with the shortest car and put that at the top. Maybe that'll help me rearrange them in order after that.
Okay. Wait, what does shortest mean? So when we talk about shortest, what does that mean? Does anyone have an idea? Ms. Rosales?
I always think about in my family, comparing the members in my family from height, short to tall. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm not exactly, because we're not measuring how tall something is. We're measuring the length of something.
So is it this way that we're checking?
Yes, this way.
Okay.
So now when I'm thinking of the word shortest, in my head, I'm thinking of something being really small.
Mhm. So you can visualize something being really small, right? So think of something very small. And Miss Yakimowicz is considered short, right? But we're talking about that's height. So we want to talk about this side, the length, right?
Okay. So
Yes, Mr. Zales?
so I can see two cars that are pretty short. Rudy's car and Jordan's car.
Right. And so we can also use a marker to kind of visualize it, right? So if I have the start point right here, our start point is here. They're all at the same start point, but what about their ending? So I noticed that Jordan's car ends at the wheel of Rudy's car, and then it also ends at the kind of like the middle window, or one of the windows, a 1, 2, 3, fourth window of Omar's car. So it kind of tells me a little bit about Jordan's car. It tells me that it's probably the
Shortest.
shortest. So I can go back to the little hand that tells me that I can move things around, and I can put Jordan's car right here as the shortest. But now I need to compare Rudy's and Omar's car. So let's try that out. So now I can move around Omar's car to go closer to Rudy's car so that they're lined up. And I can use that same strategy, right? Where I draw that line, the front of the car is lined up, hopefully, yes, as close as I can get it. And then I'm gonna do the back of the car. So here's the back. Ooh, but I noticed something. I notice, if you can see, Omar's car extends out of that line, out of the end of Rudy's car. So what does that tell us? Miss T?
That Omar's car is longer than Rudy's car, or Rudy's car is shorter than Omar's car.
Perfect. So which spot could I put Rudy's car?
Right underneath Jordan's car.
Perfect, in the second row, right? And then lastly, we see that Omar's car is the only car left over, so, and we know that it's longer than Rudy's car, and Rudy's car is longer than Jordan's car. So Omar's car is the longest. And so we can see the shortest car is Jordan's car. The Rudy's car is in the middle, right? It's longer than Jordan's car, but smaller or shorter than Omar's car. And now that we have them all arranged, now we can type, we're gonna type here, whose car is the shortest car? And so what we're gonna do, you double click here and you can delete, and then you're going to write the person's name. So the shortest car is, does anyone know? Ms. Hernandez?
Jordan's car.
Jordan's car. So I'm going to put Jordan's car is the shortest car. And then Miss T, who is the longest car? Who has the longest car?
Omar's car.
Omar's car is the longest. So you can type that in to tell us who has the shortest car and who has the longest car. And this is what you are expected to do today. You're gonna have the same type of problem, except the cars might be a little bit different. And actually the cars will be different, and the people, it'll still be Rudy, Omar, and Jordan. It's just they will have different cars. But you're expected to put them in order from shortest to longest and write which car is the shortest and which car is the longest. Okay, so I know this is a new activity, but I believe that you can do it, and I know that you guys are very good with knowing what the difference is between short and long. But if you have any questions, please make sure to message us on Class Dojo. Let me know so that the next time we have our video, I can explain it and clear up any confusion. All right, thank you for joining us, and we will see you again later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Don't forget to subscribe.